Can I get ibuprofen when I get to the jail?
You said what?
Can I get an ibuprofen when I get to the jail?
Yeah, you have to ask the nurse because they'll have to administer it, but you could ask them for sure. I don't know what their answer's going to be, but.
Because I got knots on my fucking back, bro. Straight up.
She arrives with the cautious choreography of someone who believes she's still directing the scene. 20 years old, flanked by worried parents, she steps into the Portage Police Department and asks about painkillers, an oddly mundane request that hints at priorities misaligned with the gravity to come. Booking is routine, inventory, identifiers, forms. Then a small handwritten note from a father who has seen enough shifts the floor beneath everyone. An address, a warning. Officers pivot from paperwork to triage. January in Michigan is unforgiving. On nights like this, silence in a home can be the loudest sound. What matters now is not her tone or her posture, but the geometry of risk. A possible victim, a closed door, minutes that matter. The story is already moving faster than her ability to contain it.
Hi. Hi, I'm Craig Begeman. So Officer Reinhout, you guys kind of briefly talked and discussed everything that's going on. So what he's going to do is go up and try and make contact at the apartment up there and just see what's going on, because we want to make sure that everybody is okay at the very least, you know. And then we'll just kind of go from there, okay? Okay. And then I'll stay here and wait with you until he gives me a call and lets me know what's going on.
You just want to make sure that the individual's fine, but
yeah,
I'm hearing it's not good.
Okay, in what respect do you mean it's not good?
She said she didn't feel him breathing.
Did not. Okay.
Like he was choking on it. I guess he was doing drugs or something. He choked on it. Just choked on himself or something like that. But from her impression is that he's not alive.
Okay, all right.
That's why we came down.
Officer Reinhout didn't express that to me, so okay. Let me catch him before he goes, and we'll make sure. And then just stay right here, please.
Patrol units roll to the address from the note. No answer at the door. A room that should carry the mess of ordinary life sits wrong, bed stripped, mattress absent, the kind of absence that speaks. Forced entry delivers the reality that euphemism tries to soften. This is no wellness check. Back at the station, she sits controlled, almost casual, the uncanny calm of someone rehearsing a part. Voluntary surrender often disguises a different motive, narrative custody. If you tell the story first, you hope to own its terms. But homicide resists ownership. It scatters timestamps and fibers, pings and purchases, the truth triangulating from sources that never met each other. Outside, the winter air is honest and sharp. Inside, a new interview room hums with fluorescent light and the stubborn physics of consequence.
I have an empty bed, no mattress. Police department!
But when they forced their way in, they made a gruesome discovery.
Send medical in?
Yeah.
Send medical in, dispatch.
Hi, Anna. My name's Derek Hess. I'm a detective here at the police department. I work with Detective Tatey. Okay. You doing okay?
Trying to.
Trying to. Okay. This water and that other bar is for you if you wanted something to drink. Okay. So I heard a little bit about something that had gone on, but I don't really know all the facts yet, so that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you. Are you from Kalamazoo? Did you go to high school here? Did you graduate high school?
No.
No. What level did you get to in school?
Up to 12.
Up to 12th grade? Just a little short of finishing up? Have you gone to any college at all?
No.
No.
I got accepted into KVCC.
Well, that's good. Well, hey, one of the things with my job is to kind of figure out the truth out of everything. That's what we do every day, is figure out what happened to stuff, you know, all across the city and any different capacity as far as whatever it is. If something happened somewhere, we're tasked with figuring out what really happened. And one of the ways that we do that is talking to people. So I want to talk to you about what you've been up to lately. Okay.
Okay.
I see you got handcuffs on, and I know we're in a jail, so that changes things a little bit for me. Only that I have to read you some things before we can talk. Is that okay? All right. So it says you have the right to remain silent. And it says anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned, and you can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Okay? You understand each of those that I read to you? You're shaking your head, but is that a yes? You understand each of them?
Yeah, I'm just like remaining silent.
Okay.
She talks. In fact, she talks a lot. She eats between sentences, unwraps a bar, chews, resumes. For some, stress suppresses appetite. For others, ritual sip, chew, speak acts like ballast in rough water. None of it proves guilt or innocence. What it does reveal is regulation. Can you gate your impulses when every instinct screams for control? Her cadence betrays a belief that narrative velocity can outrun evidence. It can't. Investigative work is patient. Collect, compare, corroborate. And psychology is patient too. People undercut their own stories in the spaces between words, the qualifiers, the rehearsed empathy, the convenience of memory. The fluorescent hum continues. Time, meanwhile, is doing what it always does in an interview room, tightening.
So, having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me now?
I mean, I want to hear what was said.
Okay.
Or,
Well, the only thing that's been said is what your parents said. And I know that a lot of what they said came from you, but I mean, obviously you're the best source of information.
okay.
So that's why I wanted to talk to you after either me or my partners talk to your parents. Does that make sense?
Mm.
I kind of want to hear it right from the horse's mouth, as they say. Like, get it right from the source.
Alright.
Is that fair? Okay. So having all these rights that I read to you in mind, are you willing to answer questions?
I don't know. I've never been in this predicament. So.
Right, yeah, no, I know. It's entirely up to you. It's one of those things that you can, if there's certain questions you don't want to answer, you can just say, I don't want to answer that. If you don't want to answer any questions, you don't have to. At any time, you can say, I don't want to talk to you anymore, and I'll leave. But if there are questions that you're willing to answer, I'm interested in hearing what your answers are.
Okay.
But it's entirely up to you.
Okay.
Her account begins with a petty spark water in a face and ignites into violence. She sketches the room like a floor plan, couch, door, bed, the short distances where bad decisions become fatal. Claims of hair pulling, charging, hands at the throat. Investigators will map each claim to the physics of the space, transfer patterns, impact points, the choreography of a struggle you can't see but can still measure. The law cares less about adjectives than sequence. Who initiated, who escalated, who could have disengaged. In domestic killings, escalation is often a staircase without railings. Once you start climbing, there's nothing to hold. She frames it as survival. The scene, however, will have its own opinion, expressed in fibers, bruising, and the stubborn geometry of where bodies really fell.
Want some water? No? I can't imagine trying to eat 2 of those Special K bars and not drinking any water. That'd be some sort of challenge on TikTok or something, right? Anna, are you willing to talk to me or at least hear what I got to say?
I mean, I'll hear you out, but I don't know what we all said or whatever. But
Okay.
go ahead.
Go ahead, okay. All right. What happened last night?
Basically, he just got really violent. I think he was on some type of drug. He was sitting down on a couch, and he charged at me after I threw some water in his face.
Why?
Because he called me out my name and like kept on turning on stuff and like just he knew stuff that was getting under my skin, basically. So anyway, I throw a little bit of water in his face and he like stands up, and like that's when he just like loses everything. Like, he just charges at me. He starts pulling my hair. My head is like all the way down here. And I'm like, I start like trying to fight him back. And it was like, the couch is like right here. And the door is right here. And there's a bed like right next to it. So it started initially from the couch. Like, he charged at me. I landed on the bed, hit my head. And then he started to choke me out, and that's when I started fighting him back, like trying to like push him. So I pushed him successfully, like to the door, and he was like reaching for the chain, like trying to say I was hurting him. And I was like, what do you mean I'm hurting you? Like what do you mean? So just basically, just after that, like, he just went ham, and I blacked out, and I couldn't breathe. I had like, I choked like really fucking hard. Like, I could feel like spit in the back of my throat, like when he used both hands. Like, so it just made me freak out, like, and then eventually he just stopped breathing. So I don't know, I felt like, I don't know, it made me feel like almost empty. Like,
Language tells on us. She leans on fillers, the soft padding of like, and basically until meaning floats. It's not a crime to speak loosely, it's a pattern to note. Then the tender theater, dressing the body in a favorite robe, the choreography of care after catastrophe. Offenders often attempt moral repair, small gestures meant to rewrite the ending. They don't. Objects don't absolve, they only date stamp what happened after. Forensics will separate sentiment from sequence. The robe, the room, the phone, the didn't dial 911, each item will anchor the timeline in ways words can't. In interviews, compassion is welcome. In evidence, chronology is king.
that's all I can really like say. And it just made me like sadder and sadder just looking at him. And then I ended up like just moving and, you know, putting his favorite robe on him. Because I felt bad, but like, when I'm put in a situation like that. I had to do what I had to do.
Okay. Who's he?
I met him, I want to say, McDonald's. I was working as a cashier there for like a couple months ago. And he came through the drive-thru and he ordered like a Big Mac or something. And I gave him my number, like on Rebecca receipt. And like, we'd basically been hanging out and stuff. He always like would like admit these feelings to me and stuff, and I'll be like, just trying to be friends, you know, and stuff like that. And he just really just, like, over time you would see how he would just change. I don't know how to like describe it, but it's like he went from sweet to like sociopath. Like, he just wanted me around him, and I was just staying there so that I could just like have a place to stay for my job and, you know, like kick it, hang out with him. He's like a lonely guy, so I was just like hanging out with him, and and he just got crazier and crazier. And then I noticed, like, particularly within the past 3 days of hanging out with him, that he would do like this with his nose, like this, like just like he was off some type of drug. And he told me about like this scamming stuff and like promethazine and fake doctors and just like getting prescriptions that he didn't need. So I don't know if it was a pill or if it was like a promethazine type thing or powder, whatever. I don't know about that. But
what's his name?
Man, it's like he's from Saudi Arabia, so it's like MANALBOWI or BLOWI.
Okay. Do you know his last name?
That was his last name.
Oh, what's his first name?
Man.
Oh.
MAAN.
I gotcha. I'm sorry. So like Man Al-Bawi, something like that?
Like Man Al-Blowy or Bowie or something, I don't know.
The night's descent begins at a friend's apartment, petty provocations, crude gestures, and music weaponized by volume. She paints him as chemically altered, nose twitching, teeth grinding, a soundtrack of aggression. Maybe. Or maybe it's a pretext constructed in hindsight. Interrogations attract convenient pharmacology. He was on something as the oldest solvent applied to accountability. What we can measure is behavior. Public embarrassment, a quarrel exported to the car, then imported into a small apartment, where silence gives way to bass and threat. Domestic homicides don't appear out of nowhere. They accrete irritation layered upon insult, layered upon control. In that layering, people choose escalation or exit. Doors in apartments open outward for a reason. The choice to stay and correct a situation is the hinge on which these cases turn.
He was like telling me like how he was doing like some kind of like he was trying to like provide for his family and stuff like that, but he was like scamming like and using fake IDs and stuff, and he always wanted me to like join in on it, but I would just be like no, like, and I feel like gradually over time he would get mad at me because like sometimes like I feel like he thought I was using him or like something like that. So like even when I like asked him to go get some like Dollar Tree cleaning supplies and stuff, like he would like get an attitude, and I'd just be cleaning the house or cooking for him and stuff, and I don't know, it was just like I don't understand why that was a problem.
Okay.
But
So were you guys like dating?
no. The furthest thing that I allowed from him was like just a kiss on the cheek. We were not like dating or together, so.
Did he want it to be that? Did he want to have a romantic relationship with you?
I feel like in his head he thought he could have a relationship with me or like potentially be with me, but like every time he like tried to lay under me and like get on the bed with me and stuff, like I don't know, like he'll like start touching my thigh and stuff, and I'll just be like, yo, you need to back up, like and he just is a really touchy-feely person.
Okay.
So
All right. So what was going on at the apartment last night? You guys just hanging out, or what was up?
we were just like, we had came back from my friend's house. He left me out there for an hour. He said he had to go to a class for like an hour or something.
So you were at the apartment by yourself for an hour?
Yes, I was at my friend's apartment.
Oh, okay.
And he came back to get me, and the reason we left my friend's apartment was because he started a confrontation at my friend's apartment. Like, he would start doing this with his nose and stuff, and I'd be like, yo, are you okay? And, you know, stuff like that. And then he'll, like pull down, like, his pants, like showing his boxers, like, so almost like his dick would, like, be seen and shit. Mm-hmm. And, like, it just, like, made me feel uncomfortable, so I got into an argument with him at my friend's house, and then my friend started sticking up for him, so I was like, I'd feel out of place, so we might as well just go. So, we left, and when we got back and stuff, I, like, had, like, the whole entire car, like, was just silence. No music, no nothing. And then, as soon as we got back to the house, he, like, tried playing, like, this music. And, like, I'm the type of person, like, I like, peaceful music and, you know, stuff like that. And he's, like, the more, like, the violent, like, upbeat music. I don't know how to explain it, but, basically, I just asked him to turn the music down and stuff, and then he would just, like, be doing this with his teeth, like giving me these mean looks, and I'd be like, what is all that for? Like, so, that's basically how things transpired and led up to that, and then just name calling and all the stuff that came after it.
Backstories introduced like an alibi with garnish, a brother who jokes crudely, a ride refused, and grievances fermenting in the dark. She emphasizes discomfort repeatedly. Discomfort is not danger, but it's rhetorically adjacent. Investigators will separate humiliation from harm, sleaze from assault. Meanwhile, the dynamics harden. She wants a ride and agency. He wants deference and proximity. These are not equal currencies. When power feels threatened, people reach for levers, sex, money, transport, silence. In forensic timelines, those levers leave residue in texts, searches, and the pauses between calls. The question isn't who told the better story after, but who made the clearer choice before. 1,000 cases teach the same rule. Prevention looks like leaving, tragedy looks like staying for one last argument.
Were people being called?
He called me like a bitch, and I think really what it was that yesterday, his brother, like, I would say 2 days ago, his brother and him took me for a ride. They took me to Myers, and this is when we went and got the cleaning supplies. But when we went to the gas station, he ran inside without his brother. His brother's, like, driving the car. So his brother is, like, talking to me and a bit, like, being like, did he get any pussy from you and stuff like that? And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, that's not even a factor. Like, so I was like, yeah, we're friends. We're not even dating or anything. And he was like, well, to be honest, I would have been cracked you. And I was like I felt kind of, like, offended.
What does that mean?
But I was
what
just,
he said?
Like, cracked you, like I would have been like put my dick in you, like, type thing. I don't. So it just, like, threw me off. But, like, I was just kind of like, all right. I mean, I guess, like, laughed it off, I guess. So he comes back in the car and he's like, what are you guys laughing at? And I was like, I didn't want to say it in front of him, you know, like, and just start something between them because they're brothers or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, so I waited till we got back to the house, and when he asked me that, I was just like, it was nothing really, just, like, making some jokes or some shit. So when we got back to the house, we got into an argument because I needed a ride to go see my friend, and he was mad that I asked him if his friend could drive me to where I was for some gas money. And he was just like, why? Or like, why? And I was like, what do you mean why? Like, I just need a ride. And so he was like hesitant at first, and then he like opened up and was like, all right, I mean, I'll text him. So he texted him, and then basically he got mad because I had basically said the truth. So he was like, he was just like, we don't give a fuck anyway. We pass bitches around. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? You know, like, but I don't know, it just made me feel like out of place. And then I noticed like extremely like just weird patterns of behavior like after that. But yeah, and like that, I think really what set it off was either he was taking some drugs, and then just that situation on top of the drugs like just made him like act out of anger. And I don't think he was really paying mind to what he would say. Like he just seemed like off in the head, like he was just like laid back on the inside, but like just mean as hell on the outside. I don't know how to explain it.
You ever seen him like this before?
No, it was just like the past 3 days.
The narrative turns clinical. Bottles of promethazine that no one saw him drink, weed smoke, she says, violated probation, and a crescendo of mean looks. These are atmospherics useful for color, not conclusion. The medical examiner will eventually give us the only chemistry that matters. The scene will supply the rest. In rooms like this, people often mistake motive for absolution. If he was crude, if he was high, then what followed was inevitable. It isn't. Homicide requires decisions sustained over minutes. Pressure applied, relief withheld, help not summoned. That is the grim arithmetic of mechanical asphyxia. You cannot accidentally maintain force. The body tells the truth in petechiae and fracture lines. The phone tells the truth in the calls that never left the log.
Did you see him do any drugs?
I didn't see him do any drugs. I saw him like smoke weed. Like he smokes like a ton of weed. Like just back to back to back. And I would tell him like, yo, I'm on probation. I can't, you know what I'm saying, be around that and stuff. And like he'll even get like so disrespectful, like he'll just blow it in my face, like, and just be disrespectful. So I will go try to open up the window, and he'll get mad at me for opening up the window. Like, and I'll be like, well, what do you expect? I'm not gonna like just sit in your face and then you're like smoking back to back. And I've only ever seen him use weed or cigarettes. Any other drugs besides that, no. And then promethazine, he was telling me a little bit about how he was like getting fake prescriptions from like doctors for promethazine. And he said like he lost his doctor and he was like pissed about it. I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
What did he do with the promethazine?
I think like he would like sold it like to some of his like family members, or like he just drank it. He was like, I love lean, which is what they call promethazine. So.
Okay. Did you see him take promethazine, just like drink it?
I've never seen him take it, but he had like in the apartment there's like bottles, like I don't know if you guys like saw it when you went in there, but there's like bottles in like one of his suitcases. It's like maybe like 8, 9, or 10 bottles.
Then the past walks in. Prior assaults, a metal pipe, resistance to police events that sketch a slope rather than a spike. Escalation is the most underappreciated variable in lethal violence. We like single causes. Reality prefers trajectories. By the time she sits in this chair, sipping water between rehearsed pauses, the pattern is doing most of the talking. The examiner will later call it mechanical asphyxiation. The detective will call it a confession. By accumulation of details, of omissions, of choices, she will call it survival. Juries call it something else. The law, indifferent to biographies, will weigh sequence over sentiment, And sequence, relentless as ever, ends at a locked door, a forced entry, and a body that doesn't get back up.
So, things are not going well at the apartment. What time do you think this all kind of kicked off, where he started getting mean last night?
I would say maybe like around 11:30 or 12.
Okay. And how did it start? Just with the name calling and stuff that you talked about?
Just like when I asked him to turn down the music, and I just wanted some peace and quiet, because like sometimes I just get anxious, like when like too much is going on and then the violent music is playing. It's just like I get like real fidgety, so I asked him to just turn it down or turn it off for a minute, and he was like, "Bitch, I'll do what I want in my house." Like, and I was just like, damn. So I got mad and I threw the water in his face, and that's what triggered everything. So
What's the next thing that happened?
what do you mean?
Like, what happened? You threw water in his face, and then what happened after that?
I just said what happened after that. He pulled me by my hair and charged at me.
Yeah, but I'm just looking for a little bit more detail.
He charged at me while he was sitting on the red couch. He was smoking a cigarette. He put out his cigarette after I threw the water on his face. And then he charged at me and tackled me onto the bed. And that's when he started pulling my hair. And then I like started fighting him back, and I like pushed him to the door, and he started grabbing the chain and like taking the chain off the door and shit. And then like he started doing this like around my neck.
Okay.
And then he like eventually like pushed me on the bed, and like he was like choking me, like I hit my head on the wall, like, and he was just like, I could not breathe. Like I felt myself like swallowing spit in the back of my throat.
Okay.
And it was like life or death at that point. So I was just like.
She narrates hypoxia like a weather report, colors at the edges, spit in the throat, 30 seconds of maybe unconsciousness. Anger becomes the headline emotion, not fear an odd choice, if death felt imminent. In strangulation science, seconds matter. Loss of consciousness arrives fast. Death requires persistence. She claims simultaneity, he choking her while she chokes him, yet retains the bandwidth to evaluate, choose, escalate. Boundary testing and unwanted touching become retroactive scaffolding, the kind of backstory that begs sympathy but rarely explains duration of force. The interview room dislikes poetry. It asks the dull questions. When did you let go? Why then? Who called for help? If a person can describe the colors of near death, they can also describe the moment they decided not to stop. That's the part the body will either confirm or contradict.
Did you lose consciousness?
I was like, at one point in time, I would say maybe for like 30 seconds, I just felt like my throat was like closing, and like I just couldn't breathe, so I was like freaking out. I started like pulling his hair, and then I like started choking him, and while he was choking me, I was just like, this is like beyond me.
So you don't think you lost consciousness?
I mean, that I lost consciousness or he lost consciousness?
You. While he was choking you, do you think you lost consciousness?
Yeah. Because my throat was closing, and I was just like, I could barely, like I started seeing colors and spit closing in the back of my throat. So I mean some kind of unconsciousness was there. Like it was just a life-threatening situation.
Okay. So how did that make you feel when all that was going on?
It made me feel really angry. I don't know like why he was that violent. like towards me, it just made me feel like maybe like he just was acting sweet in the beginning, like just to like try to get me over his house. And then like I noticed like within the past 3 days, like how he was just like sexually touching me and trying to lay with me and stuff, which is like normal because like guys do that, you know. But I just feel like uncomfortable, and like if I tell you to like keep backing off, like, cause I've been through a lot of stuff, you know. Like I don't like being in a type of situation where I feel like I'm uncomfortable. And he just like, he would like test the boundaries, and then when he kissed me on the cheek and stuff, I just be like, I just want to kiss on the cheek. He'll like grab the back of my head like this and like just try to like force the kiss, and I'll be like, so I just like be like, no, you need to go over there. So yeah.
Was he saying anything while this fight was going on?
He said like, help, she's trying to kill me or something. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, he charged at me and was choking me. And then when I fought back, he tried going to the door and taking off the chain. That's where that transpired.
What do you think he was trying to do when he was taking the chain off the door? Was he trying to leave, or was he trying to do something else?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I just panicked, and then he started choking me. That's when he threw me on the bed, like trying to fight me off and stuff. And once he like started choking me, and like I couldn't breathe, and I felt my head hitting the back of the wall, like I was just like,
okay. You said earlier that he went ham. And I think I know what that means, but I don't want to guess and put words in your mouth. So what does it mean when someone goes ham?
meaning like, what context was
You said he got angry at you and charged you, and then he went ham.
Ham as in like you could feel all the aggression, like with every move that he made. Like when he charged at me, I felt all the aggression and nerves in my body just be like, this is threatening. Like, and then just when he started pulling my hair and like getting real violent and had my head like all the way down here, like my shoulder was messing up. It still hurts. Like my neck hurts, and like I just like I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to like eat anything. I don't even want to like get any good sleep. And it's like, I don't know, like I guess what I mean by ham is just like when you feel someone's like nerves and aggression just pass into you, like with their anger.
She volunteers a prior altercation, hair pulled, a braid loosened, a détente followed by a muted half hour, and a bedside debrief. Most couples argue, violent pairs rehearse. What follows is the old dance approach: avoid, appease, repeat until someone decides rehearsal is not enough. She stays despite fear, cites a satchel, a bathroom routine, the insinuation of drugs without proof. In law, suspicion is seasoning, not supper. The meaningful fact is continuance, choosing to remain in a volatile space, then choosing again to resolve volatility with hands rather than exits. Interrogations surface these micro-choices like fossils in sediment. Each layer says the same thing. There were doors, there were phones, there were neighbors. None were used. That silence, intentional and cumulative, often shouts loudest at trial.
Been in a situation with him before where you would describe it as something similar, of him going ham?
We were in an altercation where I would say maybe like 2 days or like 3 days before this fight.
Mm-hmm.
So basically for the first fight and stuff, like he would like just blow smoke in my face and like just like give me like these dirty looks, and then he'll like act all lovey-dovey, and like it was just like almost like a sociopath like kind of behavior, and like it made me feel uncomfortable. So I was like, why do you do that? Like you just act all mean and then you're like lovey-dovey and stuff. And he just got aggressive with his words. He was like, bitch, you're tripping, and none of this, never that, and stuff like that. And I was like, so he got mad at me, and again he came for me. Like he charged at me and he started pulling my hair, and I pulled out, I remember he said that like, I pulled out one of his braids or something, like loosened it. He had like braids in his hair or something. But I think like he was just like upset from that, but like we eventually ended up letting each other go. So
Why did you leave, or how did that situation end?
no, I stayed there, and it was just like kind of mute for like 30 minutes, and then he like came over to the bed where I was laying on, and he was just like do you want to talk about it, and you know, stuff like that. And I'm like sort of hesitant to talk about it with him, and I'm just like, I don't know, like we admitted we were both in the wrong, like, and it shouldn't have got to where it got to, but it was kind of purposeless, like after it, because it was like the same behaviors would still continue the next 3 days or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Nothing changed.
Yeah. And then every time he went to the bathroom, like he'll go take like a purse in the bathroom. I don't know why he took a purse in the bathroom, but
What do you mean?
like, I don't know, like he'll take like a blunt, a cigarette, and then he'll take like a almost like a satchel into the bathroom. Like, and he never wanted me to open it. He always carried it with him. And I was just like,
Do you think he's got drugs in there or something?
I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure.
What's this satchel look like?
It was like a black leather.
Okay.
And, yeah. I just, like, took it in the bathrooms.
When the violence stops, the staging begins. She won't get into detail, says it's traumatizing, then provides detail anyway. A favorite robe, 90 minutes of vigil, number 911. Post-defense behavior is its own confession. Covering the body is called moral repair. Moving it is concealment. Waiting for the impossible is not aid, it's a clock reset. Medical findings of mechanical asphyxia will later dovetail with this pause. Death doesn't happen at once, it is maintained. The robe is a kindness applied too late and to the wrong audience. The living needed the call, the dead got the fabric. In homicide work, empathy after the fact is often a mirror held up to intent before it. What you fix afterward is usually what you broke on purpose.
Back to the fight here last night. You guys are fighting, he's doing something with the chain on the door, and then all this other stuff happens where you're seeing colors and that sort of stuff. And then kind of what happens after that?
Just like, I don't really want to get like into the detail because it's like kind of traumatizing, like just seeing what I saw and stuff, and like I'll start getting emotional, like, so I really don't want to like talk about like what I saw, but I felt wrong afterwards, but I knew that it was a threatening situation. Like, I just
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So
wanna talk
you had said
about that.
at one point he had stopped breathing. And then you said something about a robe. You put him in his favorite robe.
Yeah, I had covered him up with his favorite robe and stuff. Like, I sat there for like an hour and a half, and I was just seeing like if he was gonna like, open his eyes or blink or show some kind of sign movement,
Mm-hmm.
and it never happened. So I was just like, I felt terrible, because it shouldn't have had to leave or get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like,
What happened after that?
I put him in his favorite robe, and I took him off the bed and just like put him in a better place, like a fuzzier place. I put him in the closet.
Okay.
And I put he was like in love with his dad.
With his dad?
And he had like a chain that he would wear. And it had like his picture on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just placed it over his body.
What happened after that?
I sat there and I cleaned like the entire apartment.
I thought you were just cleaned the day before.
No, he bought the cleaning supplies,
I
but
gotcha,
they
okay.
weren't open or anything.
Okay.
I had like some wipes already in the house and stuff, so I just used that to like clean the other day, but
Gotcha.
before we got it.
So last night you said you cleaned the whole apartment?
Yes, I threw away cigarette butts and all of the excess trash that was spilled on the floor. He like knocked over a couple ashtrays, some candles, and I just like put it back all in place because like I felt bad for how it ended. So I just felt like, he let me stay in his home, so like I thought I would just like take care of just the apartment,
Okay.
After the robe comes the ritual, cleaning. She throws away butts, resets candles, wipes down tables, the choreography of order after the chaos she authored. In Homicide, scrubbing is never just hygiene, it's meaning. People don't polish panic, they curate scenes. She says she felt bad, so she tidied. Remorse calls 911, curation calls for wipes. Conveniently, her blackout spares the ugly middle but leaves intact the productive. After cleaning, arranging, placing a memorial chain with his father's photo. That's not shock, that's set design. Detectives will note what she restores and what she leaves. A bed without a body, a room without noise, a phone without an emergency call. When violence ends, priorities speak. Here they whisper in lemon-scented strokes that the story she's telling isn't survival, it's control, dressed as contrition.
How long do you think that lasted that you were cleaning the apartment?
I would say maybe like 30 or 40 minutes.
Okay.
Like I just basically wiped tables down, just like cleaned or attempted to clean the bathroom, and then I just kind of like just sat there and cried and was just praying. So, cause I didn't know what to do. Like I'm like on probation and stuff. I don't want to like I was scared to call last night, and I'm not used to like these situations or predicaments. So when it like just all transpired and like it really hit me. It's just like,
Did you reach out to anybody last night?
I reached out to a couple people and I was like, I need you to pray over me and just pray for closure. And I texted my mom and my dad good night. And it's just like I didn't want to like tell them like, hey, this happened tonight. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just got really emotional and I just sat there and cried. And
Did you tell anybody last night what happened?
no.
She texts not medics, but a prayer chain, requests for closure, blessings, the language of a mourner rather than a maker. Then the confession by omission, I was scared to call, I'm on probation. That's not fear of him, that's fear of consequences. The law hears the difference. She claims tears and prayer, then sleep, except the bed is occupied by the dead, so she moves him for comfort. This is where euphemism goes to work. She couldn't sleep on the couch, so the body moves to make room for rest. In ethics, that's absurd. In interrogations, it's common. You'll notice whose comfort drives each decision. Not the man without breath, but the woman weighing optics. Grief is loud, messy, public. Image management is quiet, tidy, private, and it always arrives before the ambulance.
And I didn't have anywhere to go. And I tried falling asleep. So that's when I moved him from off the bed, because I can't sleep on the couch. And I just like tried.
Is there only one bed in the apartment?
Yes.
I haven't been there, so I'm not asking you a trick question or anything. I haven't been there. So when you wanted to sleep off the bed, that's when you moved him? Okay. So then what was happening through like real late at night or real early this morning? Like what was going on then?
Like I woke up like around 6:30 and I cause I had a probation call at 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I set an alarm on my phone to just like remind me to wake up. And I had ended up leaving the house like kind of early after I like texted a couple people and I was like, I need you, like I want to see you. And I just ended up leaving and catching the bus because I felt out of place there.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't feel right just being there. So,
Who else did you tell today?
just my parents, like, I was like, stuff just escalated. And there was like, is anyone hurt? And I felt bad. I started praying.
Okay.
And they just said that I should come up here. I don't really want to get into specifics, but I just feel like I needed to express it and, you know, instead of just letting him sit there and rot, you know?
Yeah. Okay. How did you reach out to your parents to let them know?
I called them via phone and text message.
Because you may have already answered the question. I'm curious, how long have you known him for?
This was back when I had my McDonald's job, so like I'd say maybe like a month or two.
You've known him for a month or two?
A month or two.
Okay. And up until last night, how many nights in a row had you stayed with him at the apartment?
I'd say maybe like about a week.
Okay, you've been staying there about a week. Had you stayed overnight there before?
I like came over and like kicked it with him, and he would like drive me like places that I needed to go to stay and stuff.
Okay.
But he like I was basically like, just telling him like I had like when I had nowhere to go, like he would come pick me up and I'd go over his house and we'd just kick it.
Okay.
And then it was just like the touchy-feely stuff and just kicking him off the bed.
And the touchy-feely stuff kind of came on as
It
the
just
time
got
you
more
knew him?
aggressive, like gradually. It was
Okay.
like just like it'll start with like a thigh touch
Yep.
or like a damn you look good and
Okay.
you know stuff like that. And then when he'll be like can I kiss you, and I'll be like, you can kiss me on the cheek, cause like I'm not gonna lie, like I noticed like his eyes were like yellow and stuff, so like I didn't want to lay down with him, and
Okay.
like I don't want to like judge anybody for that, you know,
Yeah.
cause everybody goes through something in life. But I just noticed like he would like grab the back of, when I said that he would grab the back of my head and like kind of try to force the kiss, like, you know, come here.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't like stuff like that.
Sure.
Because I've been through traumatic
Okay.
and difficult experiences,
Okay.
like sexual trauma. And
How many times was he violent with you during the time you've known him?
I'd say maybe about like 3 times. I just noticed like when he'll start grinding his teeth and like just giving me these like weird looks, like he just hated me.
Okay.
And like he'll like blow his smoke in my face, like if I'm sitting like on the bed and stuff, like he'll come over in my space, like, or walk over me and be like like all in my face, and I'll be like,
That's creepy, and I get where you're coming from.
It's eerie.
It's eerie and kind of creepy. How many times did he ever put his hands on you when you didn't want his hands on you?
I would say, but like sexually or like
Just when I guess I'm trying to dial in on what I mean by violence. What I mean by violence, did he ever push you, strike you, choke you, hit you with an instrument? How many times was he violent? And please describe what you mean by
He never
violent.
hit me with an instrument,
Okay.
but he was like violent, like where he would choke me and pull my hair.
How many times in that time that you knew him did he ever pull your hair and choke you, or
I
separately?
would say maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
And like I noticed like after he'll be like you're always texting all these guys and shit, and like just acting like a jealous, like
Okay.
overzealous, arrogant, like just
Okay.
I don't want to say it, but like dick,
Okay.
like just.
Let me ask you this, and I know this might be a hard question to ask, and I don't mean to have you relive it, but I'm trying to get an understanding of when his hands are on your neck, what is running through your mind at that time?
Like I felt like you know, like when somebody's like just like choking you, and like you can like feel like your mind like it just goes like black, and like it's like I started seeing like white speckles
Okay.
like in my brain,
Okay.
and it was like I was just losing breath, and the banging on the wall. Then he like had me like this, and he was standing over me, and that's when I started pulling his hair, and he already had a piece of my hair, keep in mind, but he had a piece of my hair, and he had me down like this, and then he just started choking me, and that's when I was like, I grabbed the back of his head. I'm just like trying to like get him off of me. He's like, let go of me. I'm like, you're not letting go of me and stuff. And he just like started just going ham
Okay.
in quotation marks.
When he's
The interview nears the legal shoreline. She flirts with counsel, some things I should discuss with my attorney, while assuring the rest wasn't too uncomfortable. That's the paradox. Not too uncomfortable to narrate the staging. Just too uncomfortable to detail the killing. Selective silence is strategy, not trauma. Meanwhile, the room has already heard the loudest admissions. Number 911, post-incident cleaning, concealment in a closet, and the calm to sleep beside it all. In the academy, we call this the aftercare problem. Offenders who treat scenes like sick rooms tidy, scented, orderly, mistaking housekeeping for mercy. Courts are less poetic. They read closets as intent and candles as choreography. And the robe, it's not redemption. It's a timestamp, stitched to a body that stopped arguing hours before she stopped arranging.
Like just certain things, like I feel like I should discuss with my attorney first.
Okay. I told you that right from the
Things
beginning.
like that.
Yeah.
But like the questions weren't like too uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
It was just like more so like just like remembering what happened, how he was laying.
Yeah, you'll notice if you said you didn't want to talk about something, I didn't ask you that question again. Right? Okay, so I'm trying to be respectful of your wishes. If there's certain things you don't want to talk about, we won't talk about it. It's fine.
Alright, cool.
I can understand the position you're in, and I'm not trying to like trick you or anything. It's just we have to get a search warrant for the apartment, that sort of stuff. There's a lot that we have to do yet tonight and through the day tomorrow.
Alright.
There isn't any way that we can release you while we do that.
Alright.
Okay. That's not to say that
I mean, I kind of
anything's set in
that,
stone, right?
But, like,
So
I wouldn't
it's-
expect y'all to, like...
It's not like we would take you from here right to prison because you're already convicted and all that sort of stuff. Or that's way down the road of anything like that. But we don't have a choice as far as what to do with you tonight. You have to go to the jail tonight. That's just all. There's no other option. I don't know if our case will be submitted to the prosecutor tomorrow. Okay, so you probably have to spend 2 nights there. That doesn't mean you would be in jail for that entire period of time. I can't say to what's going to happen with that because we're not in charge of that. That's up to the prosecuting attorney's office.
All right. So,
Okay. So I don't want you thinking like, oh, they threw me in jail. They must think I'm guilty of something. No, that's just what we have to do. We have to do that,
I
and then
mean,
continue to do our
I
job.
understand it.
Okay.
I'm just like... I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, I like this cell and stuff. Like, I'd like solid, like a little bit of like solitude, so like I don't hear like too much noise, cause like it just makes my mind race a lot. And
Well, the good news is on the receiving side of the new jail, it's a lot more individual cells. So I think you'll probably have that. So it's not like you get thrown in general population right off the bat.
well, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with general population, just like maybe like.
But none of that's up to us either. That's the jail's rules. That's not our house, you know. So, any other questions for us?
Is there any way that I could like potentially like take a nap and?
Yeah, once you get out to the county, you can. Yep.
So how long before I'm like transported, whatever?
Well, they're still working on the paperwork to get the photos and everything from you, and that'll take a little bit of time, and then you'll go out there. I mean, it's, like I said, it's 7:45, and I bet by 10 o'clock you're asleep.
Alright, and then, as far as like the vaping part, like, is there any way that I could have him escort me, like, to just...
No, we can't do
They
anything.
wouldn't allow that. They may not even allow the vape in the building.
No, not in the jail.
By the end, reality closes in. Her parents didn't shield her, they delivered her. The jury didn't buy her story, they bought the evidence. At 23, Anna Maria Cologne is sentenced to life forever, measured not in semesters or jobs, but in counts in years. This is the paradox of violent storytelling. She cast herself as victim, curator, survivor. The court recast her as perpetrator, planner, killer. The lesson, if there is one, is plain and sour. When control masquerades as care, it fools no one for long. The robe, the closet, the wipes, they weren't compassion, they were choreography. And choreography is just dance steps written for an audience that isn't fooled.